I now very politely invite Padma Bhushan, Dr. R.S. Paroda sir, for his kind address. So please.
Good morning and Happy New Year to all of you. Today's chief guest, esteemed Dr. P.K. Mishra ji, Dr. Himanshu Pathak could not join today because he has a meeting now with the Agriculture Minister and Finance Minister, so he apologized. And that meeting is for allocation of resources for ICR, so I think we may get some good news. Dr. Trilochan Mahapatra, Dr. Stanford Blade, Dr. Ajay Rana, Dr. Bhagmal, Dr. Tyagi, Sri Sanjay Agarwal, Professor Dr. R.B. Singh, Dr. S.K. Vasal, Dr. Renu Sarup, Dr. P.L. Gautam, Dr. Dhillon, Dr. Paintal, Dr. Rajendra Barwale, Dr. Ramaswamy, Dr. A.K. Singh, Dr. Kondania, Dr. R.C. Agarwal, Rajveer Singh, Sri Harbir Singh, Dr. Dwivedi, Dr. Prasanna, Dr. Jalali, Dr. Yadav, many other distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a matter of great privilege for me to welcome our chief guest today. And I'm personally thankful to you, sir, for having agreed to our invite, because we thought you are the promoter of new technologies and innovations in India. And our Prime Minister also gave a call that it is not only Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, but Jai Anusandhan. So emphasis on innovation. And innovation is needed. And this innovation through hybrid technology, India has made a great progress. Though I say that much is yet to be achieved, but we had been number one in many crops, particularly starting from pearl millet, Dr. D.S. Atwal from Punjab, and then in cotton through C.T. Patel in Gujarat. That was hand emasculation and pollinated cotton hybrid, which whole world was amazed about, and which was later promoted by the Myco seed company to a greater extent. And then also in crops like sorghum, I must remember Dr. N.G.P. Rao, whose contributions are remarkable. Also with regard to crops such as maize, and then with regard to also rice. Sir, you have given great emphasis. Dr. Mahapatra has already highlighted most of your accomplishments and initiatives, and also being Secretary of the Government of India. Particularly in Gujarat, you also laid great emphasis on hybrid pearl millet, hybrid castor, and hybrid cotton. And even Honorable Prime Minister once mentioned while releasing the book of Dr. M.S. Swaminathan on Green Revolution at his residence, that when there were concerns by farmers about acceptance of BT cotton in Gujarat, it was Dr. Swaminathan whom he invited. And when he brought out an article relating to support for BT cotton, then all farmers were appreciative and accepted it with open hand. We have come a long way, but I do see that to meet our future challenges for food, nutrition, and environment security and sustainable development goals, we cannot have any sense of complacency. And we need to be also now proactive and aggressive in terms of accelerating the growth in agriculture. For last 5 decades, we have not been able to go more horizontal in terms of expanding our area under cultivated crops, it is stagnating around 145 million hectares. So we have to now think in terms of growing vertical. And for going vertical, hybrids do provide great option, including the GM hybrids. And in that respect, just by replacing good quality seed, farmer can get assurance for about 20 to 30% increase in his yield. And that, I think, is a remarkable thing. When we want to increase the income of farmers, we have to also see that he has option to have access to good quality seed. And in that respect, I would like to just cite an instance that when I was the Director General, the then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi ji somehow went abroad and saw good hybrids of vegetables and protected cultivation, came back and had called a meeting of all of us and said, why can't we have these seeds? And then it was said that these seeds are not available for protected cultivation in India. So he said, let's go ahead and start having bulk import. That time, to the then Principal Secretary, I had to separately go and mention that in India, we can increase our own production and cultivate a lot of hybrids. We have about 30 hybrids of vegetables. And also we have many hybrids in different crops. But what we need is to produce more seed and make available to the farmers. So immediately a support was extended to us to the extent of about 40 crores at that time. And we started hybrid program at the national level on 9 crops. And that's from where we could come up with the first hybrid on rice. And hybrid rice, therefore, we are the second after China. And myself and Dr. Swaminathan, when we attended the hybrid conference in Changsha in China, whole world was not aware that China had 50% area under hybrid rice, harnessing per hectare 1 ton extra rice. And that time, the technology was even not with International Rice Research Institute. So the work started. We said we will start it at our own. I invited the father of the hybrid rice, who now is no more, to India, not to, because I knew he would not give us seed, but at our cost, we invited him and said that, please come and help our people, train them, and we will try to build our own capability. And through that, by the end of 1995, we had our first hybrid. Similarly, in case of, so at that time, the new seed policy came. And this new seed policy made all the difference, sir. The Indian seed sector grew very fast because we allowed import, but we allowed import after testing the material in India for quarantine purposes, and then bulk was permitted in certain quantities to the private sector. And also ICR took a decision to provide the parental seeds of hybrids because private sector didn't have their R&D capability. So we started sharing the quality seed of the parental lines and free of cost, because we thought that if we do not do that, the research will remain in research area only. So that led to the increase of area under various crops under hybrids, and productivity started increasing. Maize was cited. Maize, we were harvesting till decade 2000, only 10 million tons of maize and 1 ton of productivity. And we said, nothing doing, we will have to go for also single cross hybrid. mention was made that US was harvesting almost 8 to 10 tons, and we were stuck up at 1 ton. And we were told at that time that for India, for farmers of India, the double cross or the three-way crosses are only, or composites are the only suitable technologies. And the purpose when we talked to the private sector was that they would not come with the single cross hybrids unless we have our own variety protection. So IPR issue was then important, and then we immediately initiated, and I'm happy that Dr. Mahapatra is now chairing that Plant Variety Authority Act. We came out with this act in 5 years' time, approved by the parliament, which is, I think, an example in itself, sir. And when this act came, it started providing support. The private sector also started bringing their single cross hybrids, and the productivity in last 20 years from 10 tons has gone to 35 tons. I don't think there is any such example where we can have such a, and the progress, the fastest growth is in maize to the extent of 4% every year. And our productivity has also come up to 3.5 tons, which was 1 ton. But we have to go to 10 tons. We have to also achieve 10 tons. And when we look at now, the farmers in Bihar came out with the winter technology, and the winter maize is giving 7 to 10 tons. So we have the niche here, we have the potential. What we require is now a further policy support, a targeted approach, and making a difference in terms of area coverage, because area coverage under hybrids, when we look at, it is not more than, except cotton, BT cotton technology also we brought in, and BT cotton technology now, as against about 7 to 8 million hectares, now it has 12 million, 13 million hectare area, and 95% area is covered under hybrid seed and BT cotton. And we became the global leader in cotton, but in the last 1 decade, unfortunately, because of the incidence of pests and diseases and not release of the event on, new events by somehow there are some hurdles somewhere which need to be sorted out. But we have now become second to China. We had left China behind, and we had become number 1. So we need to again revive it and think as to what can be done, how the new events, BTHT can be also approved and made available when BT cotton is already in the market. The other issues which are there, which I would, since time may not be more, but would like to just mention that Green Revolution was also innovation-led. And there are tremendous innovations taking place now. And in case of hybrid technology, the new science provides opportunities to not only increase our productivity, but also to make available to farmers the seeds at cheaper price, and also to increase their productivity and production and income. In that respect, what now we need is that there is necessity for promoting public-private partnership in the area of hybrid technology. Unless private and public sector work hand in hand, and for that, the IPR issues have to be also looked into. The Plant Variety Protection Authority already providing that kind of support, but we have to still see as to what are the stumbling blocks which can be overcome to make best possible advances. Often it is said that we have multinationals coming in India, but I would say that in India, our own seed sector is also very robust. You talk of Myco, you talk of Najavidyu, you talk of Kaveri, you talk of Rasi seeds and several others I can cite, and they have not been overtaken by multinationals. So there is good competition, and for that, what we require is an enabling environment to be provided. We have to have public-private partnership, initiatives relating to incentives and rewards for coming out with new innovations. And in hybrid technology, I consider this already as a disruptive innovation. Any new seed through hybrid technology, using new genes, new science, uh, genomic selection, and genome editing, they all offer new opportunities. So therefore, we have to now possibly, sir, again, because at that time, somehow that initiative on hybrid rice originated from PMO. And Sarla Grewal ji was that time in their chair. You being here now, I see there can be another new initiative and a national mission on hybrid research, which could be initiated in partnership mode. The other important issues which I would like to just highlight are that what is now required is to go in for way forward, incentive to seed industry, more support for R&D. Obviously, this can accelerate the process faster. ICR allocations are, you are already aware, and today the meeting, I hope, will help. We have been always requesting that ICR's allocation be increased. It has stagnated somehow for last about 7-8 years at 8,500 crores. So, sir, with so much big challenges that we have, and what we could achieve was only because of Dr. Borlaug used to say, if India could achieve green revolution, it was because of the policy support, it was because of the institutions like IRI, and now we have about more than 110 institutions and 75 universities, and because of the human resource, both capable scientists and the farmers of Punjab and Haryana, UP, and also the scientists like Dr. Swaminathan, which we could produce in this country. And we are proud that he, through your initiative again, I know personally, he could get Bharat Ratna. So we are thankful to you for that as well, sir. What we finally would like to mention, to have a clear policy on GM crops, whether to go ahead, sir, or not. Sometimes there are mixed signals coming, and they become counterproductive. We have our own technology. Dr. Deepak Pental is sitting here. The government has approved the release of our Brassica hybrids, and somehow we are stuck up in the legal battle. So if the decisions are taken on approved procedures and care taken for their release through the, and Renu Swarupji sitting here, we have followed all the regulatory system properly, then how come this technology doesn't reach the farmer? So that also is another point. We also see, sir, that similar incentives be provided, like incentives are provided to fertilizer sector and fertilizer factories for producing fertilizer. Here to seed sector, seed companies don't get any incentive. And also there is GST on seed sale to the farmer. At least farmers pay. We are on one side saying the farmer should not get a high cost seed. Why GST on seed at least can be exempted? And also there can be initiatives on licensing system, so that there is partnership and the resources are access and benefit sharing. Lastly, that we have great potential, not only of meeting our own demand, Uh, Presently, the coverage under hybrid, except cotton, in maize is only 60%. In case of pulse millet, it is 50%. And in case of sorghum, it is only 40%. We have to make it to 100%. Why can't we make it and cover that area? We have that potential. And not only produce seed for our own use, but India has all the potential. It was mentioned by Stanford, Dr. Stanford just now, that South, we can provide this good quality seed even to African countries. So export, allowing export to our seed industry also will be a win-win situation. So, sir, personally, I'm so pleased. I think it is a turning point for our hybrid research technology. Hybrid research technology is not a controversial one. GM could be considered, but there also, there is no evidence scientifically that GM crops are not good, and world over coverage is of 200 million hectare area. And China has released recently about 30 events in case of even rice, and we have to also think what we can do. And probably a national policy, Supreme Court has also desired national policy on biotechnology and GM crops. We are already releasing, testing, approving. We have a policy, otherwise how could it all be there? So we have to clarify there as well, and see that we do not remain behind. Otherwise, these opportunities will not be harnessed, and the complacency in plant breeding has to be also addressed, and with the support of this kind, monitored from the national level very effectively through an all India program, can make all the difference. So with this, I would like to say how happy I am to have you with us. And I know how busy you are, how much pressure is. Till last minute, we were keeping our fingers crossed, sir, because we know anytime the call can be, and your coming here itself is a reflection of your love for agriculture and for farmers. Thank you.